Adrian did not need to expose the camera yet. He needed Veronica comfortable enough to keep lying. The company name landed more cleanly than an accusation. For the first time that evening, Veronica reacted instead of performed. 3 days earlier, the trap had acquired a paper trail. Her explanation arrived polished, immediate, and entirely unrequested. Damien's name turned a romantic scandal into a family operation. Sarah Bell attended the gala as counsel, which meant she heard liability where others heard gossip. Bellwether had appeared in 1 sealed file and 3 very expensive silences. Curiosity moved Sarah 2 conversations closer. Adrian found the sharp-eyed attorney in the mirror and changed tactics. A good trap did not require shouting, it required answers that survived witnesses. Sarah had watched executives lie for years. She had never watched a disgrace cross-examine one. When the script failed, Veronica reached for the ending she had rehearsed. 1 photograph of a ruined dress and an angry air could outlive any explanation. Adrian remembered the movement because he had once been too drunk to avoid it. This time, sobriety required only half a step. The champagne completed the performance without its intended target. The man paid to record Adrian's humiliation received the drink instead. The wrong victim made the hidden arrangement suddenly obvious. Several guests knew the editor's face, even if they pretended not to read his work. The camera kept recording because greed rarely remembered when to stop. Veronica saw the room assemble the truth without Adrian saying it. He could have laughed. The old Adrian would have made certain everyone did. Instead, he offered her the dignity she had planned to take from him. Veronica still believed cruelty was the only language Adrian spoke fluently. He answered with the sentence she had never prepared to weaponize. Responsibility denied her the fight and denied the crowd a villain. She offered him 1 final opening to become the man in her script. Adrian ended the relationship as if closing a bad contract, clearly and without theater. Leaving first was a small luxury he had not enjoyed in his original life. Deleting evidence in front of Sarah Bell was less a mistake than a career decision. Her request was polite, precise, and carrying several invisible consequences. A second camera transformed destruction of evidence into new evidence. The editor reached for the least believable explanation available. Sarah used the company name Adrian had placed into the room. Silence finally became the only statement his employer had not purchased. The edited scandal was ready before the champagne dried. The truth required no production team, only 1 guest unwilling to crop it. Context changed every gesture the tabloid intended to sell. Crowdsourced suspicion moved faster than corporate approval. A headline designed overnight died before publication. For once, Adrian's reputation benefited from a camera nobody controlled. The gala changed shape, 1 illuminated screen at a time. People who expected entertainment found themselves embarrassed by their own certainty. Damien's media proxy reported a problem no payment could edit away. Julian had prepared corrupted numbers and a romantic scandal. Adrian had survived both sober. The most damaging thing Adrian did was continue behaving normally. Respect did not arrive as applause. It arrived as space made for him in the conversation. The system waited until nobody was watching to congratulate him. This was larger than doubled income. He had altered an event that once defined him. The reward valued restraint as highly as victory. Apparently, civilization had set a very low benchmark for Adrian Vale. He accepted the insult because the numbers were excellent. Money could be doubled. Reputation, he now understood, could be compounded. Sarah Bell did not chase people. She intercepted them with better timing. Her question contained professional interest and personal suspicion in equal amounts. The truth was impossible, so Adrian offered the smallest believable portion. Sarah filed the answer under technically responsive and probably dangerous. The number on her card bypassed 3 assistants and most social conventions. Another person he once overlooked had chosen to look. By morning, strangers had converted Adrian's restraint into a redemption narrative. Elias delivered the numbers with the cautious wonder of a man reporting weather in reverse. Adrian had already spent 1 lifetime learning how quickly good news became distraction. The morning after the gala belonged to Mira Chen and the career his family destroyed. Executive entrances were designed for visibility. Adrian needed speed. Elias stopped asking why his employer knew which disasters were scheduled next. Mira Chen was dismissed at 9:12 and treated like a criminal by 9:13. Coworkers who praised her accuracy yesterday discovered urgent reasons to study their screens. Vale Global revoked trust faster than an investigated fraud. The notebook contained the reasoning management wanted erased, written in ink they could not remotely delete. The supervisor had confused possession with ownership for most of his career. Mira surrendered the cover and kept the part that could still prove she was right. In the original timeline, Adrian arrived on this floor 2 weeks later and never noticed her desk was empty. Mira remembered every careless joke he made about analysts who took numbers seriously. His first useful instruction was delivered to the men carrying her life away. Julian's signature outweighed Adrian's reputation, but not his surname. A precise question gave the guards permission to reconsider obedience. The box returned to Mira's hands. Trust did not. 5 minutes was not enough to repair history. It was enough to stop repeating it. Mira entered the room prepared to document whatever insult came next. Adrian named advice she had given him and he had publicly mocked. The apology included no excuse, which made it harder to dismiss. Mira trusted polished remorse less than open contempt. His answer was strange, private, and closer to truth than she could know. The notebook was supposed to be the one fact management had failed to discover. Adrian's knowledge moved him from irritating to dangerous. He remembered the scandal's headline, not every mechanism beneath it. Mira supplied the missing detail before realizing she had joined the conversation. 2 hours converted outrage into a problem with an answer. Impossible deadlines were offensive. Incorrect numbers were worse. Adrian borrowed a conference room. Mira converted it into a forensic lab. She trusted raw filings because presentations had already chosen a side. Foreknowledge became useful only after Adrian attached documents to it. The same warehouses had been sold to investors twice on paper. Every trail bent toward an executive Julian had promoted beyond scrutiny. $3 million was not the discrepancy, it was the invitation. Halcyon Advisory had no employees, no office, and remarkably expensive opinions. The company vanished in Adrian's original timeline before investigators learned what to ask. Insurance records remembered owners that corporate registries politely forgot. The executive had hidden control behind a relative and one lazy form. Integration fees repeated with the confidence of theft that had never been challenged. $12 million turned Mira's insubordination into evidence. 2 hours after being escorted out, Mira returned through the executive doors carrying arithmetic. The favored executive attacked her employment status because the numbers offered no safer target. One duplicated warehouse silenced half the room. The shell company's signature silenced the rest. Julian attempted to move the problem into a future he could control. Mira explained that securities law charged interest on cowardice. The company called it a suspension of termination because corporations disliked admitting resurrection. Security changed direction with the smooth loyalty of a revolving door. Coworkers rediscovered Mira only after courage became professionally safe. Her model had been correct before powerful people agreed to read it. Adrian made the apology public because the disrespect had been public too. Mira accepted the record. Forgiveness remained under independent review. Victory left Mira with her job restored and every reason to hate the building. Adrian offered the one position Vale Global had never created. Someone paid to contradict a Vale. Her question removed the surname and examined what remained. The honest answer was not impressive. It was at least usable. Authority could come later. Adrian needed judgment that family loyalty could not purchase. Mira did not smile, but the refusal she prepared became a question instead.
Mira had survived one executive who valued obedience more than analysis. She would not volunteer for another.
Vale Global decorated offices with capable women and called proximity opportunity. Adrian discarded the title before pride could defend it. A partnership made her standards part of the structure, not an inconvenience inside it. Her first diligence question went directly through his confidence. The richest unemployed man in Crown City owned very little that he had earned. The allowance could fund a small company without inconveniencing Adrian's lifestyle. The system considered that answer morally and mathematically lazy. Family money could be spent, it simply could not become proof of independence. For once, the blue window sounded less sarcastic than Mira. Adrian's silence looked like calculation because nobody else could see the rejection notice. He requested 24 hours to acquire something his surname had not delivered. Mira transformed employment negotiations into a test of economic legitimacy. A family transfer, friendly loan, or staged consulting fee would fail immediately. The threshold mattered less than the source. $10,000 was small to a Vale and enormous to someone forbidden from using Vale money. The extra 6 hours were not kindness. They accounted for bank settlement. Adrian wanted the result clean enough to survive her suspicion. Most future knowledge required capital, licenses, or time Adrian did not possess. Then he remembered a shoe people treated like a stock certificate. The shortage had been geographic before it became financial. Collectors paid triple because nobody connected scattered inventory to concentrated demand. The calendar offered Adrian one night to build the missing connection. Buying shoes would be speculation. Moving them for others would be earned service. The first owner prepared to refuse entitlement before Adrian finished introducing himself. Preferential inventory would have made the transaction another family favor. Adrian offered customers the store could not reach and logistics it could not organize overnight. The owners kept their margins and surrendered none of their rules. Rejection clarified the pitch more efficiently than encouragement. 6 signatures turned a sneaker release into a temporary distribution network. Collectors trusted photographs, receipts, and nobody claiming urgency. The suspicion was rational, which made it useful design feedback. Proof replaced hype. 6 stores, written allocations, and automatic refunds. The first commission was ordinary money from an ordinary customer. That made it extraordinary. Public confirmations converted doubt into a queue. Adrian closed orders while demand remained, choosing execution over greed. The operation looked improvised because it was. The checklist was not. Couriers carried no cash and received only the customer information required for delivery. One delayed shipment tested whether the model was a business or a lucky spreadsheet. Adrian solved the shortage by moving reservations, not breaking rules. Refunds were treated as obligations rather than admissions of failure. By evening, every promise the service kept had become evidence for the next one. Revenue was impressive. Net income was the number Mira would interrogate. After every cost, the service had cleared the threshold with room to survive skepticism. Adrian trusted the system. He wanted the ledger to stand without it. For the first time, meaningful money carried his work rather than his surname. 12,400 became 24,800 in a silent blue flash. Elias had accepted several impossible mornings. Banking miracles remained new. A bank balance could impress Mira for approximately 3 seconds. A ledger might earn 5 minutes. She sampled transactions as if searching for a reason to leave. The extra 12,400 had no defensible source in the documents. Adrian excluded the miracle before she could reject the entire result. Restraint made the unexplained money less suspicious, not more useful. Mira's compliment arrived sharpened, which meant it was probably sincere. Adrian did not offer Mira a salary large enough to purchase silence. He offered authority expensive enough to create conflict. Her conditions were governance, not gratitude. Family money would be visible, segregated, and incapable of quietly owning the partnership. Adrian's immediate agreement worried her more than negotiation would have. 30 days was enough time to test the work and short enough to escape the man. The handshake created no empire. It created the person who might help him